Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. This is another weather forecast here again by Adrian's Weather Forecast, and this is going to be a video here on the major cold front and Arctic blast. We will be seeing continuing to affect millions out here with winter temperatures and even winter precipitation throughout much of this week into early next week. Again, guys, we're going to be seeing 30s and even up to single digits throughout areas. Just last week, we saw some 60s and 80s in some areas that are now going to be seeing some 30s, maybe 20s, even single digits in some areas in the northern plains that saw 70s last week. So again, we're going to be seeing millions to be affected by this incredibly cold air and extension to winter. Really, we're seeing spring be delayed for a couple of regions now, and this cold front is going to continue. Again, it's going to be a massive Arctic blast, really affecting much of the eastern United States, even central United States, and the western coast. We're staying a bit warmer on the warmer side. But again, be sure to subscribe, guys, if you are new to the channel. We are 2 subscribers away from 1,230 subscribers, and we are continuing to grow. Can't wait to get to 2,200 subscribers. Hopefully, we can do that by maybe mid May. I know we can get there fast, especially if you share the channel to any friends or family that you think will love my daily weather forecast and find it useful, or that you think wants to know when this cold air will finally end and when will it get a lot worse. So again, without further ado, let's get in the video. So before we get in the video, actually, we actually kind of looked at this earlier last week, so it's not really anything new. It's just we kind of stopped because of winter storm and Windstorm Sadie, and now, of course, the historic severe weather. So again, as you can tell, this is the huge area that's actually going to be impacted, where we have alerts, but this whole area will actually be impacted. And again, we actually saw some also wind advisories in these areas, so that's also going to make it colder. But this is where we have alerts. This isn't the only area that's actually going to get affected by this very cold air. This is just where we have alerts. So we actually have all the way up to freeze warnings. Hopefully we don't have to find it necessary to have hard freeze warnings. But again, we have freeze warnings now for a lot of states, including Illinois, again, much of the Ohio Valley, and all the way up to the South Central. That's in the very dark blue color. That's what we expect to see the worst cold. And when you mean worst cold, not going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing -5 degrees or anything like that. It's going to be the worst cold compared to your average. So it's going to be very, very cold. Not just cold, but very cold below your average. Let's say in Lexington, I don't know if this is exactly right. Let's say your average high at this time of year is 55. So let's say you're going to get up to maybe 35 as your high. That's going to be really, really below freezing. But now if you have a freeze watch, maybe it's only maybe 10 degrees below your average. That makes sense. Doesn't mean you're seeing the worst out of every single other state. So that's where you have hard freeze warnings stretching all the way from Pennsylvania to Texas. And we actually have one hard freeze warning in actually New Mexico, but I just don't want to have a lot of people. So please put things over your flowers, cover them, something like that, because they're going to die again for sure. And then we have again these freeze watches. Again, that's going to be for smaller areas for western Nebraska, western Tennessee, the far northern one county right there, that far northern county of Arkansas, the border. Let me just go ahead and so it's right that one county, and then we have again the 2 counties in Missouri, and then out there into western Tennessee. So again, be seeing some frost as well. And then speaking of frost, we have frost advisories as well into areas near Dallas and out there into central Texas, out there into now as far east as Alabama, going all the way up to as far west as again into Kansas. So that's what we're seeing right now. I think we could be seeing some other areas all the way up to here that could be added to these alerts later on in the week. So that's what we're seeing there. Now we're going to be looking at the tropical tidbits, a fully new updated temperature anomaly. So this is what we're seeing right now, like at this moment. Again, we're looking at the next 0 hours. Again, here we have this major cold front again affecting a lot of the United States. Again, it's been moving in. It's been here for all the way up to maybe late last week, but it continued becoming more widespread now. Again, we saw some warmer air this week in the southeast. You guys are going to convert back to cold again. We're seeing really the worst of it's going to be right here. This is where we'll be seeing the worst of it right now, especially out here in Texas and New Mexico. that's we're possibly seeing 20 degrees below average or more in these areas. But again, definitely be seeing this ridge really causing some snow to come in these areas that don't usually see snow this time of the year, like Kentucky. And again, also saw some sleet in Texas earlier on. But again, very cold right now. Again, very widespread as well. On this really average here, we'll be really seeing 12. So again, up to possibly 20 degrees below freezing. So that is what we're going to be seeing in these areas. Of course, can be a bit warmer in the west coast because of the ridge cutting. So that's going to be really warm for the next couple of days. And again, this warm air in the Atlantic, that will also move out next 6 hours. Again, it's going to be moving very slowly, not moving as fast as other cold fronts, but again, you can continue to see this ridge now push more and more east. So as you go back 12 hours, so this is where we're really seeing the main line to that really jet stream and the push of the moisture and all that. And this is where it was now. So again, it's really slowly moving eastward. Again, seeing now the worst of the cold air actually out here into the Midwest, possibly seeing again possibly 20 degrees below average. Still seeing this whole other purple color. Again, if you're in the purple, you're possibly stretching up to up to 8 degrees to possibly climbing to 16 degrees below average. Again, some of these average in these areas are really warm and higher in the south central, but you're still going to feel the difference, and still some 50s can possibly kill some plants and all that. And again, it's slowly again moving eastward, now getting to the mid-Atlantic. Won't really feel it in the first couple days, and then you'll feel it later on again as we now get into Thursday. This is when the cold air starts to kind of become a bit less as organized in the southwest. That can also cause some, but again, seeing that cool air now over the Atlantic. Again, seeing this very cold air right here in the northern plains, so in scattered areas, seeing up to 16 to 20 degrees below average in some of these areas. And again, still seeing that cold air. Won't be too bad. It's going to be only 4 to 8 degrees below your average in the southeast. Won't be too bad on Thursday. And then by Friday, it kind of does get a bit warmer now. Very unorganized. Still maybe only seeing really a degree to maybe 3 degrees below average. Even seeing some warmer spots. So it's starting to look a bit more less organized. But here we have a huge strengthening of this cold front, possibly again seeing 16 to maybe 20 degrees below average here. So again, that's what we'll possibly see there. That very cold air out here now into the into the central plains. Still seeing this cold air in much of the really the central United States, eastern United States, and then as we now get into now all the way to Saturday, we're still seeing this cold air. Seeing a bit of a warm up again, because we did see that warmer Gulf, so that's going to have its opening since it is weakening that cold air, a chance to come in, but it won't be too bad before this cold air kind of takes over. It's going to really only be really a degree to 4 maximum above average, and then it's going to come back with the cold air. And by Sunday, because this cold air has become a bit unorganized, this is now what the cold front's looking at. So now it's more of an eastern United States system. And here we have a potential second cold front. Again, this is now Sunday, and starting to see that warm air kind of now stretch all the way up into really finding that warm air now be finding its way to come in and finding its way, of course, to take over and make it a bit warmer, of course. So, and that's what we'll be seeing there. And it actually, due to that little tip of that second cold front, it actually does connect, so that kind of cuts off. So that's going to be leaving it really not too warm in the Great Lakes area for a couple days. You'll be surrounded by cold, and then it will be cold once again. And then by Monday, it does start to fall apart, this cold air, but we could potentially be seeing a northeastern and Ohio Valley cold front if this does find a way to cut in the United States, but very warm in the west coast or in the western United States by Monday. So if this strengthens and we have again now the Atlantic warming up again, that could bring in a chance for a warm up for much of the United States now. But as of right now, this colder, depending on where you live, could be lasting up all the way up to the end of the week into really early next week. So now we'll be looking at the same thing for the European again. This is what we're seeing right now, again, to possibly 19 degrees below average in some of these areas. A really massive area, again, all the way from the border with Canada all the way up into Texas, we'll be seeing the coldest out of this cold front. And again, it's going to be really, really massive system surrounded by a ton of warm air. So, if it weren't for its size, it probably wouldn't last as long. In the next 24 hours by later tomorrow, again, continue to see this coldest air now getting more into now the Great Lakes area, and now seeing that cold air arriving to the northeastern area. Starting to see the, of course, ridge move a bit more east every single day, and that's why I'll be seeing the worst of it now, moving east, of course, in the Great Lakes, possibly seeing up to some areas in the southeast and Appalachians could be seeing 11 to 14 degrees below average. And then by later Thursday, the next 48 hours, we might even see a little bit of extension of this cold air, possibly, but that won't last long. Getting very cold air now to the southeast, could be up to possibly 6 to 8 degrees below average. And then the Great Lakes in West United States, we can be seeing, of course, stretching 11 to 15 degrees below average. And then, again, by Saturday, it starts to fall apart a little bit, seeing that little bit of warm front out there, a little bit of warm up for the southeast, won't be too bad. And again, here we have this cold air all the way over here across country, and now really take over the that warm air before it even becomes a huge warm up. Again, it might get really warm. Again, it could get really warm in the coastal areas, and then we'll have that cold air take over. Again, looking less likely for a smaller cold front on early next week with the European. And then the European does show a huge warm front now taking over the central and eastern United States, but won't be too bad for mainly areas. Only seeing 1 to 3 degrees above average. Again, could possibly see a North New England warm front, but other than that, it's looking pretty warm and cold in areas, mostly average. Again, it really won't be too cold, won't be too hot unless you're right here. We can possibly see 15 degrees above average, but for some of those areas, that's actually good because you kind of want to warm up from that snow and all that. So we're going to be looking at real-time temperatures again. Into tonight lows, we're going to be seeing single digits in these areas out here in Wisconsin now. We're seeing some 20s and maybe seeing below freezing temperatures once again in the southeast. My area could be seeing 33 degrees out here. Could be seeing, again, a good amount of cold air back into the Ohio Valley now. Could be seeing some higher 20s, lower 30s, more single digits, if not teens, in the west United States. So really starting to see that cold air. And then by tomorrow, the highs, it won't be too bad, the highs. We could be seeing some areas out here with some 70s. Actually, could be seeing some 20s as highs in Maine, showing how cold it is. Seeing some 30s and 40s as highs in these areas, which is not too bad, as we last week saw up to some 70s in these areas. And then the overnight lows, again, possibly seeing once again these very cold temperatures, some 20s, possibly again close to negative digits out here into the west United States. For possibly Yellowstone, could be seeing maybe 4 degrees at its warmest for tomorrow, tomorrow night. And then again, starting to see that bit of another warm up and Monday, because that Gulf Coast moisture and warmer air. So we'll start to see some now 60s and 50s once again out here in these exact same areas. So what a crazy week with temperatures. Again, let's actually mark areas. So let's actually look. This is Monday now. The highs let's check just Wyoming, for example. Right here we had that 66. Let's see that temperatures there. The day earlier this week, the day before, not the day before, by later this weekend on Friday, we'll be seeing up to 26, and now we're getting up to now 60, possibly 66. Again, up to now Montana seeing 57 here. Look at this, where we saw again 29. So definitely, even 23 on Thursday. And look, even 12 degrees on Tuesday. And look, and this is the area where we saw 60, we're seeing 9 degrees. So just, wow, a major change in the temperatures here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really means a lot when you guys support me and all that. And yeah, I'll be seeing having some more updates on this upcoming cold front, and then potentially that upcoming snowstorm. I don't necessarily think it'll be named, but it's going to be a close call, depending on whether it's going to get a lot colder or not. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye.